welcome to Off the Shelf Reviews.
I am the Cult of Personality.
And I'm Gary, and today we're going to review and discuss The Cult of Chucky, which released in 2017, written and directed by Don Mancini. Ian, why don't you give us the synopsis?
Well, 4 years after the previous Chucky movie, Nika, played by Fiona Dourif, has been transferred to a medium-level security psychiatric ward for studying after she supposedly killed her entire family. She starts to receive messages through one of the patients there that Chucky is going to visit, and when he does, he's bringing some friends.
Okay, let me explain something to you. I am a vintage, mass-marketed children's toy from the 80s.
So this is the second straight-to-video sort of Chucky movie.
Yeah.
After Bride and Seed, Curse was the straight one that went straight to streaming or straight to DVD.
Yeah.
And this one's followed that same pattern. And I'm kind of fine with that. Like, they don't feel like theatrical movies anymore.
Yeah.
But they still retain that Don Mancini kind of quality to the films. Now, the previous film decided to embrace its horror roots.
Yeah.
That started the franchise. Obviously, we know that it went deeper into the comedy aspect.
Yeah.
With Bride and Seed. And this one here, I think, kind of straddles the middle ground. It tries to be the horror and the comedy.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it's kind of weird, but this film kind of leaked online before it was due to be released online. About 2 weeks beforehand.
Right, yeah.
Now, it really upset, obviously, the cast and crew and filmmakers to see their film get leaked, but, you know, it was uploaded on YouTube, I think, like 2 weeks before.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's kind of unfortunate. It may have hurt this film somewhat. And as someone like me who is a real fan of the Child's Play franchise and series, it is a little bit upsetting, because you want to see this franchise continue and succeed, especially if you like it so much. And usually, by the 7th point in a horror franchise, things have gone so badly that it's almost unrecognizable anymore.
Yeah.
At least with this, we still know we're still getting Chucky.
I mean, it is a surprise that he hasn't gone to space yet.
I know, still hasn't.
It's kind of amazing. And after Seed of Chucky, I thought that was the end of the franchise. I was like, that's it. We're never coming back to that. You know, we've seen the end of him. Glenn and Glenda. I mean, what the fuck's going on with that storyline? It's not the Child's Play I grew up with. And then Curse came out, and I really enjoyed that because, like I said, it was like a remake, but an original retelling of the Child's Play story. And then it ended on such a weird one. You know, we had Andy Bartlett with a Chucky doll. We had the little girl, she had a Chucky doll. You know, Nika was whipped away. And so you're like, okay, so I'm open for a continuation of this. And then Cult of Chucky dropped, and I didn't watch it. Like you said, I think, like you said, it got harmed because it got released early, and then people weren't sure about it. They didn't think it was that great. But then in the context of things, it started to get a bit of a cult following. See what I did there? And then it wasn't until the TV series dropped. And you'd already seen the TV series, and you were like, dude, you really need to watch TV series. And I'm like, really? There's a Child's Play a Chucky TV series? How's this going to work? And then I watched it, and it was just like death after death after death. And I got to the 4th or 5th episode when Fiona Dourif turned up, and I was like, oh, stop. I've got to go back now.
I'm confused.
I've got to go watch Cult. I've got to find out what happened. And so I did that. Mid-series, I watched Cult, and I was like, I'm up to date now and finished off the series. And yeah, it's just so weird because the film starts, you know, we've got Alex Vincent playing Andy Barclay. You know, he's out on a date with a girl.
I also just want to point out, it's also a redhead.
Yes.
I mean, you don't usually point those things out, but the fact that he is clearly, or we find out he is clearly suffering from PTSD from, you know, his 3 previous interactions with Chucky.
Yeah.
Not to mention stuff that he's had interactions with Chucky off screen out of the films, which we'll catch up to when his date basically goes, I Googled you, I internet searched you, and found out your past, and so unfortunately you keep all these guns and weapons, and you've got these, all 47 people have died around you.
Now this is what I'll point out. This now, if you're if you're not a Child's Play fan, you're not going to get anything from this. But if you're a Child's Play fan, you've run that really fine line of if you enjoy the Child's Play movies or not. And so part of me, they're at this restaurant and she's like, I Googled you. So I'm like, okay, so you know his past, right? You know that people have mysteriously died and that this doll has always been in contact. Oh, yeah, no, I believe it's him. It's like, where's the cop? I said this when we reviewed Child's Play 1 and Child's Play 2. The cop should have come out going, hey, it was me. I was there. I saw the evil doll come back. No.
Yeah, I don't think he went and told anybody what happened. He was like, I want to keep my career. I don't want to get locked up.
But this is it. This universe incorporates all that. So they incorporate Child's Play 2 where his foster family died. They incorporate Child's Play 3 where all those people died at the military place.
Yeah, when he goes home in front of his safe, he's got the jersey or the sweater.
Yeah, which I think is just brilliant. Especially, like I said, as I was in the middle of the TV series while I'm watching it, and they're calling back all of this stuff. I'm like, oh my God, this series is doing something that not many series actually do. Sticking to their series, you know.
Well, there's quite a few inconsistencies within the franchise, but
oh, totally.
When I'm watching a Child's Play or a Chucky movie, I'm here to have a laugh and
Yes.
have a good fun time with some creative fun kills, and of course, just to hear Brad Dourif and Chucky laughing.
It's definitely you. Don't fuck with the Chuck.
Oh my God.
You thought?
That's why I'm here.
When Andy gets home, you know, his date's dumped him and he pulls out this decapitated Chucky head, which has been nailed to this piece of wood. And he's torturing it, or he's just keeping it around because there's a part in the movie where he realizes that there's more than one Chucky.
Yeah.
But at this point, this is the Chucky head from the end of Curse that he shot, and he's just keeping it. Like he blows smoke of a joint into Chucky. Well, no, he lets him smoke it, doesn't he? And Chucky kind of intakes as much as he can while he can, and then he tries to bite Andy's fingers, and Andy's just like, right, I'm going to blowtorch your fucking face.
This scene is amazing.
Yeah.
Like when I started watching this film and this scene was playing out, I was like, my dials were turned up to 11. I was like, this is awesome. Like, we've got Alex Vincent back in the role playing Andy. Of course, we had a stinger at the end of the last movie.
Yeah.
But having him here, sat down with Chucky, sharing a joint on a Friday night, I was just like, this is the movie. This is the movie I want. And he blowtorches his head and the scene's over. And I was like, no! Honestly, like, if that scene wasn't in the film, I don't know, like, the film I probably would have been fine, but I'm just so disappointed that that's not the film. I would have just loved a scene of the two of them just sat there smoking weed and talking.
I'd have got that, but that's not what we need.
I know.
What the franchise needs, it needs Chucky on the move doing kills. And so we over the credits, you know, we watch like flashbacks from the previous movie, you know, and if you'd seen the previous movie, you'd see certain scenes and go, oh, I remember that. I want to go back and watch that and see how it leads up to it. And then we cut to Nika strapped to a bed, getting electroshock treatment. I didn't know they still did that in 2017.
Well,
yeah. You know?
Well, maybe it's a callback to the original movie, maybe, where the doctor gets killed by it. I don't know.
Right, yeah, I didn't think that. But she gets told by Dr. Foley. He explains that she's done really well and that since, you know, she's been incarcerated for 4 years, they're going to transfer her to a minimum security wing. Now, as an audience member and a fan, you already know she's innocent in all of it.
Yeah.
You know that technically, like, it was all Chucky, and still people don't believe her, same as they don't believe Andy. And she's also informed that her niece, who survived the last movie, is under the care of somebody else. And as a fan, you already knew that Chucky was trying to possess her soul. So when Nika gets transferred to this new mental place, they're basically like, look, we accept that you're a psychopathic killer who murdered your family. We don't like you, but we're going to get along. You know?
Yeah, and just to help you with your recovery, here's a good guy doll.
Right, yeah. Like you said, inconsistencies. You know, you're going to treat this woman's psychological torment by bringing in this doll.
Face your fears.
That's bullshit. It's bullshit. You are literally like, it's like the movie goes, look, these things exist. It's like, I know they exist. I've seen the other 6 movies. I've seen Redman and fucking Jennifer Tilly get fucked up and possessed by a fucking doll. Why is it like, it's like that part in Halloween, isn't it? The remake Halloween where they're like, Michael, look at your mask. He's like, no, this is such a bad idea. But you get the crazy ghost woman walking around. I did like her interaction of a character with Nika.
Yeah.
You know, she's like, oh,
Can you see me?
yeah, I've been dead for 30 years. And then Multiple Malcolm turns up, played by Adam Herting. He's an interesting character.
Well, he provides the first sex scene, I think, in the entire franchise. She has a brief encounter with Multiple Malcolms, one of the first One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest references here, where they trade cigarettes and juicy fruit.
Oh, I wondered what that sequence was all about.
Yeah, they have a brief sex scene at the bottom of the stairs.
Well, I mean, she's not had it for 4 years, or not had it at all from what we know as, and she kind of likes him. But yeah, they bring out this Chucky doll. And immediately we get Madeline, one of the other patients there, who accepts it as her baby. And you kind of get the feeling that something happened to her baby. So we'll just leave that where it is. But Nika is obviously firmly convinced that this Chucky doll is Chucky. Because it has to be. That's what we've seen throughout the entire franchise. If the Chucky doll turns up, it's got to be Chucky. But we are then introduced to Jennifer Tilly. Playing Tiffany Valentine, or the guardian of Alice,
yeah,
the little girl from the first movie. And it's like, I love that fourth wall break where Nika's just like, hey, has anybody told you that you look like Jennifer Tilly?
Did anyone ever tell you look exactly like Jennifer Tilly?
Yeah, I get that a lot.
I'm like, oh, Don Mancini, you know how to hit the right chords.
He does. And she delivers the devastating news that Alice has died of a broken heart.
Yeah.
And Nika delivers her reaction really well. You really feel the heartbreak and the sorrow.
Yeah.
After this devastating news, she's now the only surviving member of the family.
But that's it. This is a really darker aspect for the entire franchise to go.
Oh, yeah.
Is that they've gone, yeah, we got the kid. She's dead.
Yeah.
And Chucky's still going.
Yeah.
You're like, what?
It's like we missed a movie in between.
Yeah. It's like, doesn't he need a child's body? And it's like, no, here's another Chucky doll. And you're like, wait, there's more than one?
Yeah. Yeah, well, she says, and she was like, when Alice died, she said, make sure Nika gets this good guy doll.
Yeah.
Because it helped me, kind of, not. And so, yeah, she's absolutely distraught. There's another Chucky doll here, and she takes her own life. She goes back to bed and she takes a spoke out of her, wheelchair and tries to end her life.
Yeah.
But Chucky, he's just like, you know what? No, you're mine. I get to kill you or get to have my way with you. You can't take the easy way out. And overnight, he stitches her arm up and he leaves a message in blood.
I loved this sequence because normally with a lot of these movies, you have like the killer, just the shadow, the darkness, the subtlety, the build-up, the tension and build-up. And Don Mancini was like, we don't need that. We already had that with the previous movie. We just need Chucky, Brad Dourif doing his thing. And the special effects for Chucky walking around is probably some of the best we've seen. The facial changes of the plastic.
Oh yeah.
The walking.
The puppeteers. I mean, there's like when Chucky's walking, there's a person in a green suit behind him with the foot, with the attached to the feet, so it gets the movement.
It's amazing.
There's I think there's six puppeteers all working the face to make the eyes move. They recorded all of Brad Dourif's voice lines before. and they also synced up all the voice to the doll, so that
Yeah,
when
yeah.
they were on set,
Yeah.
they just had to push a button and Chucky would voice. And,
that would terrify
and
me.
They would hear Brad
Oh
Dourif's
my God,
lines.
no,
And then the
that's
puppeteers could just
terrifying.
work on the eyebrows, the eyes, the cheeks,
Yes.
the arms. There's puppeteers for every aspect. They built lots of different good guy dolls depending on the scene. If he's just picking up a knife or if he's stabbing somebody.
Yeah,
it's the animatronics and the puppeteer work in this film is above and beyond exceptional. It is the best the franchise has ever seen. And the good guy doll looks good and menacing with the right shadows, the right
Yes.
cinematography. It really, really works. But there is one, again, inconsistency and complaint. And I'm a big Child's Play fan, so
Yeah.
I have to bring this up because
Yeah.
it really feels like it's disconnected. It's such a small thing. I know, it's like a nitpick. But,
Right.
But if you're a fan, you really notice it. That good guy doll does not sound anything like a good guy doll from the franchise.
No,
that is not the voice of the Chucky, the doll.
Yeah, it's true. I give you that.
The annoying thing is, even in the trailer for the film, it has the original lines.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Whoa.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Yeah.
And it's like, why did they replace it? What happened? I don't know. Now I think it was to do with maybe the voice actor couldn't do it anymore, but there's no reason why they couldn't have used the audio from a previous film, which they used in the trailer. I just don't...
Overlaying it again in a trailer. I don't know. You can maybe cover it and it doesn't, and it looks dodgy, but it doesn't. But sticking it in the film, you immediately film. Like, I get it. The voice looks off, but for me, the doll didn't look like the original doll.
Well, none of them have, really. They've come close.
Yeah, but I kind of accept that. Same with Curse. In Curse, I felt the doll in Curse looked too tidy, too plastic, too kind of up to date. These ones I'm kind of used to now. I'm like, oh yeah, he's red hair, he's got little blue dungarees on. It's Chucky. His interaction with the ghost lady is fucking amazing.
It is amazing.
Especially when he goes, oh, cuckoo's nest, and he walks off. I'm like, oh, he said it!
Yeah.
You know what? You're next. I'm gonna be right back. Jesus. Fucking cuckoo's nest.
And of course, because Brad Dourif, his very first role in film was in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest as Stuttering Billy.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's great. I just love when he turns to her and he goes, "You fucking with me?"
I'm not going to hurt you.
You fucking with me?
Yeah, you fucking with me?
It's just
You
such
wait,
great
I'll,
delivery.
I'll be fucking back. And yeah, he finds Nika and realizes that she's attempted to kill herself, stitches her back up, leaves a message in the blood for her, and then goes into the ghost lady's room and gets her to commit suicide, or kills her by getting her to commit suicide.
Yeah.
So it hits Nika even more because that's what she wanted to do. And Chucky's left a message.
Chucky did it.
Yeah. It's just... and the film doesn't even slow down now. I feel like the pace starts to pick up because Nika knows that Chucky's there.
It's a good half hour into the movie before the first kill, really.
Yeah, but that's not bad because at least we know like everything's building up, everything's in this one location. We're not going around too much. We do every now and again keep flicking back to Andy when he's hearing or seeing news reports. He's even taken the decapitated head to Dr. Foley to show him, and Dr. Foley's like, I don't believe it. Like, I know Dr. Foley's evil, but I actually thought he was going to be part of the cult.
Sure.
But he's not. Actually, he's just the dick. And Chucky actually brings that up in conversations with Nika at some points. Like, man, I thought I was fucking evil. This guy's an asshole.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know whether to take notes or kill him. It's great.
Can't with this guy. I don't know whether to kill him or just take notes.
Yeah, because we find out that he's giving her this sort of hypnotic treatment.
Yeah.
To put her in this trance, which he's then taking this opportunity to abuse her sexually.
Yeah.
And of course, that's when Chucky kind of intervenes and saves the day.
Well, he doesn't.
Knocks him out, and he's trying to get Nika to kill the doctor.
Yeah.
She's like, join the family, you know?
Yeah.
But then we fade to black, and we catch up with Nika crawling along the floor. And we're like, what's happened? And we see this giant shadow of Chucky moving up the side wall.
We've got the ghost of Alice.
Now, we
in the
know
dream
she's
as
been
well,
injected with stuff. She's just had this hypnotic treatment, so she's hallucinating. And then, we see that giant Chucky standing behind her. And there's a great little sort of Easter egg or a little hidden moment in that shot.
Yeah.
Where in the reflection of the blade,
Yeah.
it's Brad Dourif's face. It's Charles Lee Ray in the dagger, and I was like, oh, that is really cool. Like a little thing that you can miss.
We started to follow Claire as well, another patient who, at first, she really, really doesn't believe that, she believes that Nika is the murderer and that the dolls are all just fake, but she doesn't like to have them around. And then after the ghost lady's death, she goes to get rid of one of the dolls, and it bites her. And so she's immediately shocked, angry, violent towards the doll. Dr. Foley's just like, no, we're going to take you away, Claire. We need to obviously
calm you down.
So they strap her to the bed and they give her an injection, and she can't move. She can feel everything, but she can't move. And Chucky's left in the room with her, and he comes alive and he gets this little compressed gas canister, and he starts just his voice. This is Charles Lee Ray, and he just plays it off like a child. Like, is this what I think it means? And he just pops the canister and it flies up in the air and it just smashes the window.
Slow motion as the glass comes crashing down. You see that one little tear she gives just before she gets brutally decapitated. Damn, Chucky. It's awesome. Of course, it is a throwback, I guess, to Bride of Chucky, where Tiffany throws the champagne bottle up at the mirror above the bed.
That's true. I didn't think of that one. Yeah.
But at least now Chucky can also claim a similar kill.
But we've multiple Malcolm has revealed himself to have multiple personalities. So Nika, I thought Nika would be a lot more shocked interacting with him when he's somebody else, but she just kind of just plays it off. Like, well, I'm in a mental ward. What do I expect? And she sees Madeline take her Chucky doll, because there's two.
She had just suffocated that doll, hadn't she?
Well, no, she hasn't suffocated it yet. She's taken it out because they're going to bury the old lady. She takes the doll outside and throws it in the grave. And Malcolm comes outside.
Oh, I thought they were. I thought she'd done the suffocation and then they were having a burial for the doll.
No, they had the burial first. Malcolm, it's weird because you don't see it, but Malcolm gets possessed, or you think he's being possessed.
Yeah,
pretends to be possessed, and she gets brought. Madeline comes back in with the doll, and then tries to suffocate it, and that's when the doctor's just like, oh, we're taking it away from you because you were gonna murder the child and blah blah blah, and we're gonna bury it and symbolize obviously it's in the grave. But the outside sequence, the snow sequence, I really, really liked. I mean, the visuals of it was really quite nice.
Well, Chucky giving her the finger.
That was great. But it's also the whole setup, like you said, of her throwing the doll in, pushing Malcolm in with there as well.
So then you think he's possessed.
Yeah, which like I said, inconsistency. I don't understand why he wanted to pretend to do that.
In the context of the whole movie, I think this scene makes zero sense. It makes absolutely no sense. Now, I try to understand what is actually happening here. Is this all a scheme to trick Nika? Because Madeline, we see she's drawing pictures of Chucky.
Yeah.
And it looks like the Chucky in the pictures is more animated and alive than the doll itself. So maybe Chucky has revealed to Madeline his secret.
Oh, I think he has. I think he's revealed it to pretty much everybody.
He's whispering in her ear, telling her what to do.
Yeah.
And so it feels just like a false setup, really. I don't know. It just doesn't...
It is a false setup where you're supposed to think, oh, Malcolm's being possessed by Chucky now.
Yeah.
And from this point on, Malcolm will pretend to be Charles.
Yeah.
Charles Lee Ray. But later on, you'll realize that that's actually all false. But Madeline was also, she's attempted to murder the doll like she did her baby. And the doctor's kind of taken it off her and they're taken it outside to bury. And then Chucky comes back in. And they have this sweet little moment where she's hugging him. And then he literally just shoves his hand down her throat and rips out her tongue or the back of her throat.
Yeah. Yeah. And the next time we see her, he's got the arm sort of wedged out of her mouth while Chucky sat there missing his arm.
Yeah, he's ripped off his own arm and shoved it down her throat to make it look like I really liked the fact that this movie is kind of like Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3. You're getting all these people killed off with their individual stories, but they're all being made to look like suicides.
Sure.
So it's not, it's the killer's not really there. And then at the same time, Andy, like I said, has come across a lot of the information that people are dying at this hospital. So he rushes there to meet up with Nika or Dr. Foley.
But they won't let him in anymore because he's already been kicked out of here once before.
Yeah.
Now, again, the film feels like it's rushing things here.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Andy's like, well, the only way I can get locked up in here is to take out the security guard and
Yeah.
punches him. And then next thing you know, he's being locked up in a padded room. And I do like, there's a nice little callback to Child's Play 1. Because
right.
Andy, sort of, when he's in the corner of the room, he crumples down like he did
Oh,
as his child
yeah.
version
Nice.
in the asylum.
Nice, yeah.
Which was cool. But I was also just like, whoa, is it that easy to get locked up?
Yeah. I kind of just accept that because this movie has such a low budget that we're lucky if we got two sets.
It's moving things on at a rapid pace.
Yeah.
But it did feel a bit odd still.
Yeah, it did feel strange. But yeah, he's been locked up in there, and then Dr. Foley has had a box turn up, and it's another Chucky doll, and we get that situation, don't we, where Nika has been brought back into the room. She's in a straitjacket. Dr. Foley's just like, what are you doing here? And she's like, Chucky brought me. And he's getting all ready to do his hypnotizing thing all over again. And that's when we're kind of revealed that not only have we got two Chuckies, but when they do the spell of Damballa to the third one, we've now got 3 Charles Lee Ray Chucky dolls. Not one fragmented soul into others. He is literally Charles Lee Ray in every single one.
Yeah. There's not like a hive mind kind of thing.
No.
They're all individuals.
They are individuals.
Now, it's kind of a bit like it's hard to kind of comprehend. Like you're like, wait a minute. Now, part of me is just like, wait a minute. If Chucky could do this the whole time, like why have we had to wait this long? But we get. I think it's a bit of bad writing. You just get a throwaway line where he's just like, "Oh, Tiffany, remember you were reading that book, The Voodoo for Dummies? Well, there's now an internet page.
Yeah.
I just learned a new spell, and it's easy as that. I can now transfer my soul into anything with 2 legs and a pair of arms to stab something with."
Now I can be me and me and me. And theoretically anyone or anything with 2 legs and a hand for stabbing.
Living or otherwise.
Yeah.
Oh, so now we get the reason for the title of the film, The Cult of Chucky.
Yeah.
It's all the Chuckies. And, as baffling as it is to realize this is where the film's gone, like, no longer needs the dagger, no longer needs the necklace.
Yeah.
The spell is over in, like, a second.
Yeah.
There's no thunder and clouds
It
and
doesn't
lightning.
take, like,
The
15 minutes.
spectacle of it is gone. And for me, that is a big detriment to the lore that's been built up over these films. It just feels a bit cheap now.
Ade beaucoup Gembella. Give me the power, I beg of you.
But, that being said, having 3 Chuckies on screen talking to each other
Yeah.
is fucking awesome.
A children's toy is actually beating them to death with a yardstick, or setting them on fire, eviscerating them. All actual examples.
Well, this is it. The throwaway line is like, really? Is that as far as we're going to go? But I'm watching a Chucky movie. Am I expecting Oscar-winning writing? No, I want to see Chucky kill things. And now I've got 3 Chuckies killing, the potential for more. Remember, I was in the middle of a series, and so I watched the rest of the series, and I know where the rest of the series goes, and I read up on the notes that Don Mancini had always said leading up to Bride of Chucky and Seed of Chucky that he wanted multiple Chuckies. He just couldn't do it with the financing and the studio involvement that he had. Now he had free reign to do it, and so the conversation between the 3 of them is just great. Like, one of them's complaining about his hair, and the other 2 are like, "Oh yeah, dude, you got it worse than all of us."
Right, yeah, they were deciding who gets to go and kill Andy.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Yeah, Buzzcut, you get to win."
Yeah.
Because of the haircut. But that was just after they'd completely annihilated this orderly.
Oh shit!
His intestines popping out. They're drilling him, stabbing him. Like,
Yeah.
Buzzcut Chucky's having a whale of a time, and he's like, "This is the best time of my life." And they're like, "You were only born like 5 minutes ago."
I mean, that's another inconsistency that literally, like, you've got this entire hospital, but we see, like, this ward, maybe 3 members of staff and about 8 you know,
Orderlies, yeah.
or 8 patients. You
True.
know, after we see the main people killed, we don't, you know, throughout the movie you see people in the background. By the end of the movie, there's nobody there, so, and you don't know if Chucky's killed them all.
Well, the
or
amount
they're
of
just,
Chucky's roaming around. I
That's
can only
it, or they're
imagine.
just locked away, or whatever. Well, I mean, later on, like the security will still turn up, but we get the one Chucky head off to Andy, and we get another Chucky walk up to Nika while she's locked in the chair. And like I said, he explains, like, look, you know, I don't need it anymore, and he literally just does the spell there. And the next moment, Nika is standing, you know.
There's some pretty potent voodoo, I gotta say.
Yeah. She's possessed now by the spirit of her father.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. And he's Dr. Foley had put some weird red shoes on Nika's feet before he'd been knocked out, and so she fucking stomps his face in, or he stomps his face in.
It's brutal.
Yeah.
When we see his brain popping out of his skull.
His teeth going, you can kind of hear him still snoring because his nose
Yeah.
broken. But we get the other buzzcut Chucky head over to Andy, and they have a little bit of a throwdown. But it was all a trap. Andy had purposely sent that Chucky to the ward and pulls a gun out with him. And then he just goes ahead and just wastes bullets on Chucky.
I mean, we know, like, I'm thinking, you shoot it in the heart. You shoot him in the heart.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Andy just enjoys killing Chucky dolls at this
Well,
point.
I do. I do as well. But you've shot him in the chest. You've shot him in the head. He's not dead, and you've had to crush his skull. Okay, so does that kill Chucky, crushing his skull, or is there a potential that his body is still able to come back, Evil Dead style? And now that you've wasted all the bullets, what was your plan?
Yeah, you're now still stuck.
After you're
still
now
locked
stuck.
up.
Yeah, but
Now, I got to bring up another inconsistency and another thing that really annoys me with this film.
Right.
Is the lore of Chucky. Now, going back to the original film, we find out that after spending time in that body, he's slowly materializing organs. You know, it hurt like a son of a bitch when he got shot.
Yeah.
And that continues throughout most of the films,
Yeah.
except going back into Curse of Chucky, where when Chucky's being killed at the end of that movie, he's just a plastic doll all
Yeah.
the way through it.
Yeah.
Now in this one, we find out when Chucky's taking damage, he's bleeding, he's
Yeah.
hurting.
Yeah.
Except for the Chucky that had his arm severed.
Yeah.
It's just a doll
Plastic-
stub.
plastic thing, yeah.
Yeah, and now we've got the Chucky that's only been possessed for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
All of his organs complete in the doll. I'm like, what is going on? This
Same
is
with
so
the melted
inconsistent.
hand as well.
Yeah.
They melted his hand like hell, but it didn't bleed or anything. It was just
So I was like, was that just the doll and Chucky was actually in the other doll? Was he in both dolls at this point?
I
Like, it's arguable, but it...
think it's just motif for the film to get, like, it wouldn't look cool if he just crushed Chucky's head and it was just a plastic doll.
But
so
at that
so,
point in
so
time,
they
it-
add blood and guts to it
Yeah.
to give it a bit of finesse.
This is the goriest, Chucky movie
Yes,
there's been
yeah.
yet, and that really delivers on the gore.
Yeah.
I mean, we also had multiple Malcolm getting the drill through the back of his head.
Oh, that
the
was
other
pretty
nurse
cool.
we found, she was
She's
also dead.
Well, Malcolm pretends that he killed the nurse.
Yeah.
And Nika, Chucky, at this point, goes, no, you didn't, because it's not in you. And Malcolm breaks down like, all I want to be, I'm mental in the head because all I want to be is somebody famous and accepted. And so they drill him through the back of the head. And Nika confronts Andy. And Andy realizes that it's Chucky. And she's just basically like, yep, tag, you're it. Closes the door, locks him in there, and walks right out the front of the hospital in the body of Nika, making out with Jennifer Tilly, which was nice.
All the while, there's the Tiffany doll in the back that may or may not have Alice in it at this point.
Yeah, that was weird. Like, I accepted it was Tiffany, but then they were like, oh well, I liked having Alice around. So I wonder if Alice was dead,
Yeah.
Chucky had possessed her. Oh, that would be weird. 12-year-old Alice and Tiffany.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the film. This film doesn't really bring up Alice too much. She appears in a dream in the nightmare sequence briefly.
Yeah.
And we
It's
have
like they were just writing off the film, weren't they? To carry
or
on
it
the
was like
series.
they were trying to set up things for future installments, which
Yeah.
Don Mancini obviously said he wanted to do more movies after this. Of course, right now we're up to nearly getting season two of Chucky. So he has said that he's got many ideas that he wants to explore with these characters. The mix match of multiple Chucky's personalities, body swapping voodoo, the revenge of Andy and other legacy characters from the franchise coming back. And that's why this film also then feels almost too like a serial. Like we're only getting a small part of this now grander story.
Yeah.
And so on its own, it feels incomplete. As a standalone movie, it feels a bit average. But as a Chucky movie, it gets the thumbs up because it delivers those great Chucky scenes, really.
Yeah.
But that ending, I was just like, I've got to wait now for the next thing. It felt like, nothing really got resolved, but lots of things happened.
Yeah.
Well, Ian, what were your favourite scenes from the movie?
Oh man, a lot of my favourite scenes. I really did like all of the kills. The kills were fun. It's really nice to have Chucky kill in original ways, instead of like your Freddy, your Jason, your Michael. They just stab and then they do something over the top in a kill, but they never go back to it. Chucky always seems to try to outdo himself for the next one. I think the weakest kill probably in this movie was the orderly one, because you didn't actually see it. You just saw the effects. Like there was a bit where he glassed the guy's stomach open with a bottle, and like his whole intestines came out. And I'm like, whoa! Like it's a lot. I really did like the Nika watching the outside sequence. I like the snow. Like, is it Christmas? Are they in December? I don't know. Where are they in Canada? I don't know. It's just a really snowy area, and then just like I said, Chucky giving the finger and then pushing Malcolm in. Yeah, it's a bit of a red herring. Malcolm pretending to be Chucky now. Like, did he research Chucky, on the internet and then decide, oh yeah, I want to be this guy? Because I don't know. And I really love just that sequence with Jennifer Tilly. Like, I really love Jennifer Tilly. Really? Yeah. Has anyone told you look like Jennifer Tilly? Yeah, I get that all the time. That was a cracker of a line.
It was. Yeah, so many great scenes in the film. And the first one, undoubtedly, is the opening scene. Or not the date scene, but when Andy comes home on his own and pulls Chucky out of the safe and shares a joint on a Friday night. Yeah. Just great. I love the little jump scare there as well. It will catch you off guard. Yes. Great moment. Wish there was more. The cuckoo's nest jokes. Yeah. It's just like, yeah, that's great. There was also a Hannibal joke as well.
Yes.
And of course, Don Mancini was a producer and writer for season 3 of Hannibal. Yeah. So when Chucky says, can't believe they cancelled that.
Listen to you. You sound like Hannibal Lecter. Can't believe they cancelled that show.
Chucky giving the finger in the graveyard. It's just crude. It's just Chucky, isn't it? That is Chucky. The glass fall decapitation. Brilliant effect. Chucky times 3. Yeah. The 3 Chuckies just sat there talking to each other and laughing about, their kills and who gets to go and fight Andy. I also love all the Chucky stuff is just great. When he's talking about, I'm the notorious slasher. When he's talking about being an iconic 80s kids toy. Yeah. Just all the scenes with Chucky are just fantastic. I also really liked Nika's transformation. I thought the actress did a really good job going from one character to the other and really portraying Charles Lee Ray really, really well. Yeah. And the last gore effect was Chucky being stomped. I love that gore, and I love just Andy just finally getting some revenge on Chucky. Yeah. It's great. And of course, there is also another stinger at the end of the credits of this film. Yes. Where we see Kyle from Child's Play 2 make her return, as she's back now to also torture Chucky whilst Andy's still locked up. Yeah. And of course, that would just be a bit of a stinger for these characters returning to the series and beyond. Yeah. Well, Ian, do you recommend Chucky or the Cult of Chucky?
I do, and it's kind of surprising that I do recommend the 7th movie in a series without warnings that this series is dropping off. But I don't feel like this series is dropping off, and I've got a lot of horror series to compare to this one that have hit their highs and then crashed so fucking low. Chucky, it feels like the first one hit the high and it was always going to be coming down low, but the cult the cult following that's always got, it's just managed to kind of hold it up, saying like, look, we want more, don't make fun of us. But the studio is just like, well, how can we not make fun of you with a killer doll? How do we balance the jokes along with the horror? And it's just like, look, we don't care about callbacks. Give us as many callbacks as you want and make us go back and watch your other movies, but just try and keep the originality going. And with us going into the TV series, like the TV series is trying its new stuff. It's sticking to the old stuff that we know. But I do feel warnings are coming that like there might be stuff in season 2, maybe season 3 that we are not going to like, but we're just going to have to go with because Chucky's going to come along with a knife and stab people a lot.
Yeah. Well, I do still recommend Cult of Chucky, despite some inconsistencies within the franchise and some of the choices that were made by Don Mancini here. I felt like Andy was very underused. I really would have liked him to have had more scenes with Nika or Chucky, or even Jennifer Tilly's character, Tiffany. This film for me, though, was probably as weak as Seed of Chucky in terms of the plot and story mixed with some bad writing and direction. I feel that Alex Vincent, though, Andy, is massively underused, and the film's resolution felt very underwhelming and inconclusive and just a setup for more. That being said, this film is tons of fun for Chucky fans. 3 times the fun, with Brad Dourif's excellent line delivery, his iconic laugh, always amazing to watch those scenes with Chucky. Also, thanks to some truly amazing puppetry and animatronics, Chucky is better than ever. Tonally, the film is a mishmash horror comedy combining Seed and Curse to get Cult. It's cringy at times, but it's also hilarious. If you're a fan of the series, this is a must-watch. It sets everything up going forward. As a standalone film, it's okay. Lots of kills, gruesome gore, amazing Chucky moments, and it is good fun. Like we said, most horror franchises flounder at film 7, but Cult of Chucky knows what it wants to be, and it delivers that horror comedy madness like only a good guy doll can. Thanks for watching Off the Shelf Reviews.
I've never felt so alive! Yeah, well, you've been alive for like 2 minutes. Welcome to the cult, pal. Thanks, you guys are the best.